We're gonna try this thing again. We're gonna try this thing again, and I just gotta set up a couple of things, and while I do that, that'll give people time to come in if you want to come in and be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm just checking it out on another device, and we looking good. We looking like it's flowing good. You know, peace and power to everybody out there. Again, I do continue to pray that you're having a blacktastic day. All right. Feel free to shout out in the comments. Feel free to put your black business in the comments. You know what I'm saying? We can't circulate the black dollar if we don't spread the word. You know what I'm saying? If we don't spread the word, we can't spread the dollar. So make sure that we're spreading the dollar in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm Baba Amin Ojuwoke of the Uhuru Academy. You can see my Instagram on the screen. Follow us at Baba Amin. Also, check out uhuruacademy.com. Man, right now, we are running the most powerful online live education experience for young people in the world, for black people in the world. We're now enrolling third grade through 12th grade for those of you who believe in investing in your child's education, for those of you who are ready to extract and liberate your child from the public food system. The Uhuru Academy offers a solution, a powerful solution. So definitely check us out for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Provisional Government of the Republic of New Africa. Honored to be Co-Minister of Education along with my beautiful wife, Nkoyo Ojuwo, who I shout out as well. But definitely giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors for this day, for this opportunity to share, for this opportunity to teach. Um, take the time and let's see. I thought it was public. Let's see if I can do it now. Let me work on that right now, Brother Johnny. I thought it was public, but let me see if I can go in and um, fix that. And if I can't fix it now, we'll fix it later. Let me see. Let me go here. Okay. Okay. No, not there. Y'all bear with me while I make this stream public. Okay. Uh-oh. I messed up. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Let me see here. We're streaming live. I think, here we go. Watch this. Let's see if I can. I can't do it here. Okay. I can't do it here. So, let me see what I can do here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Johnny Judah. All right, that should do it right there. That should make it public right there. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, that should do it right there. So go ahead and share this video. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and let people know we in here. Put it on all your pages, all your accounts. You know what I'm saying? We can make that happen. All right. I truly appreciate it. So there we go. There we go. All right then. Look, as I was saying earlier, um, I'm not a very scripted person. I'm not a person who sits back and does a lot of preparation before I deliver a message. My preparation is usually prayer, meditation, listening to what's going on around me, kind of listening to my spirit, and I thank the Creator and the ancestors that I've been gifted with the words needed to articulate what's on my mind, and thank you, Baba Gerald. Already in there dropping solutions, man. Look, I'm surrounded by solutionaries, and I thank the Creator for all the solutionaries that I know, like Brother Johnny Judah, like Brother Gerald Vaughn, so many powerful black men that I've been blessed to be around, like my brother Kushan Holmes, like my brother Lo the G, and others, man, who I've been so blessed to be around. My biological brothers, man, Kenneth Darren Thomas, God bless his soul, and my big brother Gas, Gary Anthony Sims, who my big brothers bestowed a love of people inside of me, a love of music, a love of life inside of me, a strength inside of me. Like my big brothers showed me that you don't have to parade around and do a bunch of rah-rah in order to be strong. You know what I'm saying? My brothers taught me to just get strong and be strong when you need to be strong, and know when to listen, and that's strength as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for everyone who's poured into me in my life, and I don't consider myself a rarity. All right. I don't consider myself a rarity in the sense of being a strong, powerful, unapologetically black man. There are millions of us out here. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of us out here. We're just not the prevailing image of black men that people see, right? But we're here. We're that uncle you could always depend on. We're definitely here. You know what I'm saying? We're that father. We're that stepfather. We're definitely here. Sometimes we get stepped on. Sometimes we get ignored. A lot of times our opinions are pushed to the back, but we are definitely here. We exist and we stepping up. And I'm shouting and just a quick message to all strong black men out there and black men who want to be strong, right? Let's continue to step up. You have to step up and continue to be an example for your community. You got to step up and treat yourself right, man. Do your self-care. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're taking care of you. Make sure you're taking care of those around you unapologetically. But, that's not even the main topic of my message, but it is related to my message today. In the wake of the murder of young Dolph in Memphis yesterday. And for those of you who are watching this that may not know, Young Dolph is a popular rapper, artist, independent artist, hip hop artist out of Memphis, Tennessee. One of the most popular artists to come out of Memphis, Tennessee in hip hop, period. And he was murdered yesterday at a black-owned business called McCada's Cookies, where he was going to buy cookies for his mother. It was a place that he frequented, and he was going to buy cookies for his mother. And I guess his enemies rolled up on him and shot and killed him right there at the store in front of everyone who was at the store. There are so many layers to that. There's so many layers of trauma to that whole incident. He was just in a video with the owners of the cookie store a week before, saying that whenever he's in town, he has to go get cookies from this business, right? And for a celebrity to do that, to promote your business as a small black business owner myself, that celebrity endorsement that can pay your rent for they can pay your mortgage for the next 6 months. You know what I'm saying? A celebrity endorsement is going to bring people into your establishment. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, though, in this case, this ended up being a place where he was murdered. So something that potentially could have launched the business to another level has now caused the business to be boarded up and closed down until further notice. Um, which leads me to what I want to talk about, and that's the dual consciousness of black leadership. See, some of y'all listen to Young Dolph's music, and he definitely did not have a message that I agree with in a lot of his songs. It was a lot of negativity. There's a lot of violence. You know what I'm saying? It was glorification of drug culture, glorification of that death culture. There were messages in there too. There's messages of beating poverty. There's messages of coming up and not letting the obstacles beat you. He put out a lot of messages about being a businessman, being corporate minded, because you can't just rap lyrics and then be famous. You know what I'm saying? Someone has to run the business, right? The business aspect of it. So he was also a very acute, a very skilled businessman. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. You know what I'm saying? Now, so what I want to deal with is that dual consciousness, right? Because from my understanding, he was also a brother who really loved his community. Now, my perspective on this is going to be kind of unique because as I posted this morning, you know, I came off the porch at 18 years old, but it wasn't to bang. I never banged. I never hustled though. You know what I'm saying? I came out as a teacher. That's what I was in the streets though, not in the system, in the streets. I started teaching in Butler housing projects. You know what I'm saying? When I was 18 years old, in the midst of the crack era, in the midst of the gang banging era in Fort Worth, I was walking with the hustlers. I was walking among the gang bangers, you know what I'm saying? Spreading a positive message, providing safe spaces for the children to go, you know what I'm saying? While everything was going on in the hood, and trying to impart a different message on the generation that was coming up. But at the same time, I got to know a lot of brothers who was in the streets. A lot of my friends were in the streets, and I saw in the leadership. I'm talking the OGs. I'm talking the cats who selling the dope and all that kind of stuff, right? I saw in the leadership, genuine love for the community, while at the same time making money from harming the community, right? Right. I saw that dual psychosis, right? That the hustler, the street cat, you had to deal with. The street cat who's that natural leader. It's always a street cat. And I think Dolph was one, right? There's always this street cat that's a natural leader, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, right? That man, this is the president of the project. This the president of the hood right here. This dude right here could be doing whatever, right? And we meet these cats, and these cats may be street hustlers. They getting it how they getting it out there on the streets, but at the same time, they got a genuine love for the community, and they are very aware that while they're trying to lift up the community, that they're making their money by destroying the community at the same time. They're very aware that they're contributing to the destruction of the neighborhood, while at the same time being one of the only sources of income for people in the neighborhood. It's a hell of a psychosis. I've seen brothers and sisters grapple with grief, grapple with guilt over it. I've seen them self-medicate, you know what I'm saying, as a result of dealing with that stress, dealing with the nightmares, trying to reconcile what they're doing to the community with what they're doing for the community. Man, that's not an easy do. And for a lot, when they finally find that balance, and they're finally able to let go of some of the street activity, and focus more on the community activity, unfortunately, sometimes it's too late. Sometimes something that may have happened while you were still focused over here comes back on you when you're trying to settle down and do something over here. And it's unfortunate. And we're such a confused community because we love our people. We love our people who make it in the system, and we love our people who make it in the streets. We're rooting for them. We're rooting for both sides to do something positive. And we're a lot of us are forgiving of those who are in the streets, just like we're forgiving of those who are in the system that also have a dual psychosis that I've witnessed firsthand. Black people in the system with their dual psychosis that I've witnessed firsthand. I've watched them be like, damn, I work for the police department. The police department is terrorizing the black community. I don't have any real power to change it from within, but at the same time, I need this paycheck. And what I can do, I try to do some good. I'll treat them right. I'll let the little drug dealer go. I won't harass everybody. I'll try to be friendly and be a good and just police officer for my people. But at the same time, when my white counterparts act up or my other black counterparts act up, I'm really powerless to defend my people, but I got to try to balance it. And I've seen them grapple with guilt. I've seen black people who work for the food stamp office grapple with guilt. I've seen black people who work in the probation office and all that. They grapple with guilt. It's like, this is a good person. The policy says I should lock him up because he didn't pay his fees, but I don't want to lock him up to pay his fees. But now I got my job over here and I got my people over here. What do I do with that? It's like a dual psychosis that the street cat has to deal with. The corporate cat also has to deal with it. The group that deals with it the least is the black business owner. You see, when you Makeda's cookies, When you the lady who runs Makeda's Cookies, you have a sense of clarity because you have a business inside the black community. So the well-being of black people also means the well-being of your business. You want justice for black folk because if black folk ain't got justice, they spending all their time paying for justice. They ain't spending no time paying for cookies. You want Young Dolph to balance out his music because if Young Dolph will balance out his music, now when he comes to the cookie store, everybody will come to the cookie store instead of some people might have looked at that video last week and say, oh, if he be up there, I ain't going up there. All kind of folks trying to kill that dude. So where does this double consciousness stem from? That's why I call this live gifted and misguided, right? Because there's so many of us who are naturally gifted. But it doesn't matter how gifted you are. If you're misguided, if you're miseducated, your gift may become a curse. So many of our artists, man, they're gifted. These people are creative. It be tripping me out because, I do conscious music, you know what I'm saying? And I love what I do, and I love conscious hip hop, right? But when I heard some of these mainstream artists do conscious music, I'm like, damn, that was next level. If that joker did that all the time, whoa, they're truly gifted, but they're also truly misguided. So let's deal with the misguided part. If something is misguided, then how do you change the guidance? How do you guide it the right way? What systems do we have in place to correct the miseducation? Young Dolph wasn't killed yesterday. Young Dolph's murder has been brewing and cooking in a pot for years, and it was a culmination of experiences that came together on yesterday. It may have been a message that he sent out as a result of being misguided. It may have been an action or a decision that was made as a result of being misguided, or the misguided soul who took his life. Let's look at our best and our brightest then. Let's look at those who are on city council. Let's look at those who are in the system. Why are they so ineffective? They gifted. I know people, man, that can network their way all the way up to the top. Why are they so ineffective? Why is the black community in general ineffective in taking advantage of good leadership when we do get it? We're misguided. Where's the source of this misguidance? Where's the source of our dual consciousness? Where's the conflict? Where's the source of the inner conflict that we're dealing with as black people? I have way more questions than answers, but I'm an explorer. And I've dedicated my life to exploring these issues, coming up with solutions to these problems, testing these solutions in real time. And one solution that I know is effective, maybe not for all, but for many, is knowledge of self. One solution I know is controlling the narrative. How do we control the narrative? How do we control what our children learn? How do we control the values, the core values that our community is raised up with? How do we take the reins back? and build a hedge around our children that says you our best and brightest that can build a corporation, that can organize a company, you that want to be a police officer, you that want to do this. Let us build an infrastructure where you can do all those things that you've been called to do, but do it for the benefit of yourself, the benefit of your people, so you won't go home feeling guilty. Because as gifted as you are and as proud to be black as you are, what you did at work today hurt black people. How do we fix that? I was teaching our students this week. You know, we one of our the sayings that we learned from this week was those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So we don't just teach black history, and I don't say that learning our history is a solution because you need to know names and dates or you need to know that we was kings and queens. No, I teach that history is one of the solutions. Learning our history is one of the solutions because learning from our history is a powerful solution. Resonating and connecting with the past so you can learn from the past. Yes, do you get self-esteem when you realize that your people don't come from slavery? Absolutely. Yes, do you get self-esteem when you realize that math and science originated with black people, that some of the greatest civilizations ever built were created by black people, that government was created by black people, that the whole human rights movement was created by black people? Yes, that some of the greatest structures ever built were created by black people. Does that kind of boost your confidence? Yes. But also learning from the mistakes of our ancestors. That's just as valuable. It's just as valuable because history is a lesson to be learned. And it's a lesson to be learned from. We were talking about the fall of the great West African empires this week, right? And in discussing this, and a great book that you all want to check out is the Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, right? And in it, he outlines some of the mistakes and errors that our ancestors made, some of the cultural attitudes that our ancestors adopted that led to the fall of the continent of Africa, of many kingdoms in Africa. It was a butterfly or a domino effect, right? And one of those problems was an integration of cultural values. When Europeans began to come into West Africa, they brought a different cultural paradigm with them. They brought an ends justify the means type attitude into West Africa with them. And when they came as friends. They didn't just come as enemies. They came as friends, right? They came as spiritual brothers saying, you know what? We're now brothers and sisters through Christ. And Christ wants you to let us set up an outpost in a marketplace right here on the coast. Christ wants you to allow us to pull our ships up. They even had slave ships called Jesus. He wants us to let you pull our ships up on the shore. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to bring trinkets because we have technology in Europe that you don't have. We got handheld mirrors and hair dyes, and we got rum, and we got guns, and all this. See a friendship with us and a friendship with Christ. You see what it'll do for you? And a lot of the older people in West Africa, culture was like, nah, we don't trust that. Nah, we ain't letting them in here. We trusting our old ways. We love our traditions. We love eating the mango out of the mango tree. We good. We love talking to Yemaya. We love dealing with Ogun and we love dealing with Oshun and Shango. We good. We love our rituals and our altars and that sort of thing. That European was talking to the young dissatisfied though, and was like, you know what? You like how I dress, you can dress like this. Our God, all you got to do is profess your loyalty to it. And you ain't got to do all them shrines. You ain't got to do all them altars. Matter of fact, your people are heathens. You know what I'm saying? Man, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. A lot of young people bought into that. They began to deal with these Europeans. Some even began to trade their own people into slavery with these Europeans, not thinking that, but most of the time under deception. They didn't know that our people were being enslaved for life. They didn't know that our people were being sold as cattle. right, as chattel. They didn't know that. They thought that it was slavery like in Africa, that they was going to be a servant for a little while. Matter of fact, the Portuguese used to tell West African kings, let us have some of your prisoners of war. Let us have some of your poor. Let us go train them. They'll become priests and scientists. Then we'll send them back here to help raise up your civilization. Shit, they never saw them people again. And by the time African leadership realized that all that integrating they were doing with white folks was harmful, it was too late. They were so caught up in the beautiful way it looked to have a white hand and black hand clasped together that they wasn't paying attention to the agenda of the Europeans. They were so caught up in this new religion and getting these new European names, so caught up in these new guns and the power that they can get from these guns that they didn't see. They didn't look and they didn't see what it was doing to them on the inside. The cultural decay, the spiritual decay. They didn't see it until it was too late. And when many African kings turned around and began to fight back, by that time, you had let your enemy sit right next to you. You had let your enemy get to your people. And now your people is identifying with your enemy, and your people are now helping your enemy fight you. That sound familiar? We've integrated these cultural values into our system. This individualism, this the end justifies the means. The whole crack era was Eurocentric. That whole idea. I've been watching BMF and I'm looking at Big Meech and I'm looking at Terry and I'm looking at the dynamic in that black family with the hardworking father and the hardworking mother trying to make ends meet. The real system is this capitalistic system. The real enemy is this capitalistic system that's making it harder and harder for them to survive. But now you become enemies in your own household because your children see a whole new way to get money. They don't see the big picture. They see the moment. They don't see the movement. They see the moment to get clothes, to get cars, to pay the bills. They see that. And it causes instant conflict inside the household. And the household splits apart. Because there's now been a conflict of values. An irreconcilable conflict of values. On the one end, you got young brothers who have great minds that are getting money, they're changing lives, the whole 9 yards. But on the other end, they're doing it by being a part of a government plot to destroy black people. Because that's what the crack era was. Just like the young brother on the shores of West Africa who was helping capture black people for the Europeans. He was taking home extra money for his family, extra money for everybody that got down with him, became Christians with him, rocked with him. But at the same time, he was destroying his own village. And I'm not saying that betrayal happened widespread. I'm just saying that betrayal happened. Just like every young person didn't sell dope. I didn't sell dope in the 90s. I know a whole bunch of black people who didn't come off the porch and gangbang, didn't come off the porch and sell drugs. Matter of fact, the majority of us didn't. Just like the majority of us did not participate with Europeans when it came to the slave trade. The vast majority of us fought it from day one. But we didn't just have to fight the European back then, just like we don't just have to fight the European today. Stop me when I'm wrong. When we're dealing with the young Dolphs of the world and the Nipsey Hussles of, we're not dealing, or we're dealing with the young gangster rappers with the op music. We're not dealing with the majority of our youth. That's not the majority of our youth. The majority of our youth today are just trying to make it. A lot of them will tell you, I'm just trying to stay out the way. And they're falling in into some of those other spectrums. A lot of them end up being underemployed and unemployed because they go to schools who don't pay them any attention. Not only are they not learning about their history, but they're not getting the same opportunities that children in the other schools are getting. They're not being exposed to industries. They're not being exposed to what's the hottest jobs out here. And even if they get exposed to it, there's no program in their schools that's licensing them, certifying them in cybersecurity, certifying them in networking. Those programs aren't there. They getting this general ass diploma from passing that silly ass state test and then said, go out and go to college. Go to college for what? So half of them go to college without a plan, end up dropping out after one semester, and they back at home working at Walmart with their high school diploma. And now they got $5,000 worth of student debt because they took out a student loan that first year, and they still got to pay back the student loan. So now they can't even get federal financial aid anymore until the loan is taken care of. They on financial aid suspension, so now they just got to go get a job, whatever their high school diploma or get them. And there's all kind of opportunities out here without a college degree, but nobody told them about it in school because they're gifted, but they've been misguided. It ain't just the hustlers. Just like when the Europeans started establishing schools in West Africa and in the places that they were colonizing, and they gave those African students just enough education to make them think that they were Europeans, but not enough education to run their own nation. That's why when colonialism ended, neo-colonialism began, because white folks walked out of the African country and said, here, you can run it. And the Africans like, shit, y'all never taught us how to run it. We were denied this. Oh, then the Europeans like, oh, you need us, huh? Well, we'll loan you some money. We'll loan you some resources. Now you're an independent African nation in worlds of debt that you can't get out of. Just like in your community. You got an education. They taught you how to grow up and get you a job, didn't they? But they didn't tell you how to run a community. Did you take city government when you was in school? Did they tell you where your water comes from? Do you know anything about the water board? How do you open a store in the black community? Because there are stores in the black community. Do you know that the average corner store in the black community makes around $500,000 a year? Why nobody who live there own the store? Is it because they black? See, when they give you an inferiority complex, you just blame everything on being black. I don't got a store because I'm black. We don't do it because niggas don't know how to run nothing. Niggas don't want to do shit. Y'all see how this works? So what does leadership look like for misguided and miseducated people? What does it look like? It looks like successful, misguided people. Those become your leaders. Successful, misguided people become your leadership because they're successfully misguided. They're rich and misguided. They connected and misguided. And that becomes your leader. These are people who are probably going to be successful regardless. Just need to be guided in the right direction. And that's why we focus on education. We have to take over the guidance, black men. We have to take over the guidance system, black women. We have to stop sitting back acting as if there's nothing we can do. We have to stop supporting negative messages and start uplifting positive messages. Your griots, your storytellers, your rappers will tell you whatever their spirit says you want to hear. We have to become loud and clear about what we want to hear. We have to go after and damage any media outlet that promotes the contrary. If we don't have our reality music, our street music, if we want to continue to express ourselves the way we express ourselves, we have to put that type of music in the right spaces and protect sensitive minds from messages that they can't handle or process. There has to be an active battle against poverty in the black community, an unapologetic battle. Now, shut up with the all poverty for all people. Gotta go. No, start with your own. You have to proclaim it. I want black people to be successful. You have to proclaim, I want black people to be powerful. Anyone who wants all people to be powerful, that must include black people. We need a department that's just the black people department, where people in the black power department just work toward black power. Because a powerful black community helps everybody. Hell, we the least prejudiced people on the planet. Everyone should want us to be powerful. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. I like that dialogue. They say the hood is beyond repair, but I won't concede. I feel that. I feel that. The hood is not beyond repair. We just got to put the neighbor back in it. How do you put the neighbor back in it? We got to teach those values from here. Pastors, people with these churches, got to step up, man. You got to step up. Stop being afraid. Stop running from who you are. Stop trying to be somebody for everybody and just be what your community needs. Your community needs a strong black man and a strong black woman. Your community needs color. Your community needs culture. Your community needs a narrative, a walk with God that does not begin with a slave ship. Your community needs a walk with God that begins with Adam. A walk with God that begins when the universe began. And you got to stop apologizing and hiding from that. You got to stop being scared to make the little old lady who's still tired, making her mad and uncomfortable. Everybody needs to get uncomfortable. The only time y'all see these babies in church is when one of their friends get killed. Why is that? The only time you see them now is at the funeral. Why is that? And you had that baby in Sunday school when they was 8, when they was 9. Now you at their funeral, they 22, 23 years old. Where did the disconnect happen? As a teacher, when I lose a student, it hits me. I feel like it's something I didn't do. It feels like, man, where did I go wrong? God bless Dacian Steptoe, my nephew. Dacian, his dad tell me he was thinking of calling me. I remember the last few conversations I had with Dacian. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out how to get in there, how to say, bam, unlock the potential, man. Let's do this, let's do that. And then when what happened, I can't help but I still grapple with, what did I not say? What did we not build? Where did I deal with that. We deal with that. It's nothing like the grief of the parent. Don't compare to that. But as the teacher, as the leader, as a guide, as a servant in the community, y'all don't feel that? Pastor, you don't feel that? Teachers, y'all don't feel that? Y'all not feeling this? That little boy you had in the 4th grade that said he wanted to be a lawyer, now you out there in them streets, you don't feel that? Y'all don't feel like we got to go harder? I do. Y'all don't feel like we got to say F the system, we got to do this ourselves? I do. These models ain't working, man. The integration model that we've been following since Brown versus Board of Education, it's failed. It's over. It's done. This didn't work. The busing and the protesting and the busing and the blending of the schools, it failed. It didn't work. It's time for a new model. I'm declaring the integration experiment as it was implemented a failure. Yes, a few of us did well, very well, but the goal was to empower the masses. That was the goal. not empower the few and then blame those who couldn't make it, or blame their blackness on it. That wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't to disenfranchise black-owned businesses. That wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't to build highways down the middle of black communities and economically destroy and politically destroy black communities. That wasn't the goal. We did get some black faces in some very high white spaces. You got that. But what happened to the traditionally black spaces? Did you put white faces there? Oh, you're doing that right now. It's called gentrification. But as you put the white spaces into the traditionally black spaces, the black faces are being pushed out of the traditional black spaces. They don't have a stake in the traditional black spaces. They have no ownership in the traditional black spaces. So as the white faces come in, they're not spending money with the black faces. Yet everywhere the black faces go, we get taxed by white faces. We pay to go everywhere we have to go. We pay to get there everywhere we go. Man, shit. We in a cycle. But we can break these cycles if we just stop being afraid to analyze them. We have to stop being afraid to ask the hard questions, the difficult questions. We got to stop being tricked and allowing ourselves to be fooled by and pressured by corrupt political parties that just want your vote. Since Biden got in, the only thing these Negroes is fighting for, the only thing that party is fighting for is to make sure you can vote at the next election. They're not fighting for your economic health. They're not fighting for your health. They're not fighting for you. And when you go and tell them what you really need, they give you an excuse as to why they can't demand that. What do you mean you can't demand what I tell you I need? Ain't that what I voted for you for? But then you back up because now they're going to label you. They're going to say you're malcontent. They're going to say you're militant. They're going to say you're full of hate. So you just be quiet. They're going to ostracize you because they have an agenda. And that agenda for the masses of working class black people is just keep you well enough to show up to the polls. Is that all you want? We need to incentivize our artists to raise the vibration in the music. Yes, still talk, still spit that reality. But there are ways to talk about our reality without glorifying the aspects of our reality that are destroying us, without leading us down that path, right? There are ways to talk about our reality without perpetuating the reality, without reinforcing the reality, without strengthening the reality. Matter of fact, there are ways to talk about the reality, right, that will empower us to control the reality, to shift the reality, to change the reality. That's how we need to talk about the reality. Every artist out there has the power to do it. The question is, do they have the courage? Every leader like myself on the ground and other ministers and teachers, we have the power. And parents, you have the power to start reinforcing these positive values in your children. You start shifting your children, the rappers start shifting their message, and watch the shift that happens in our community. I know it'll work. Your enemies know it'll work. That's why they invest billions in the other message. As we divest from all of that, as we build our own universes, our own metaverses, as we build our own schools, our own communities, watch what happens. Nobody's going to stop you. They can't stop you. You're stopping yourself. My prayers go out to not only Young Dolph's family, but any other black family that's dealing with self-destruction. Any other black family that's dealing with the violence and the stress and the trauma that comes along with miseducation and misguidance. Violence happens. It does. Death happens. Death is a reality. It's a part of life. We celebrate life. We don't sit around and run from death. We celebrate life. We live our lives. Death is a part of life. Young Dolph lived his life. He's an ancestor now. Celebrate that. Celebrate his life. But at the same time, we need to work harder to build a greater quality of life so we can get more out of these precious jewels, these precious, talented jewels that grow up and they just want to tell their story. They grow up and they just want to talk to us. They grow up and they just want to express. We need to do a better job of giving them something better to talk about. I'm committed. I hope you are. I pray you got something from this message. If so, take time out to share it in all of your on all your pages. You can support the Uhuru Academy at Cash App $Uhuru Academy. You can, and I'll put that in the comments here, right? All your donations go towards uplifting our school and our movement. Um, Support a black-owned business. But don't just support a black-owned business because they black. Find black-owned businesses that support black people. Our prayers go out to Makeda's Cookies. Whenever Makeda's opens back up, I pray that we all flood Makeda's and make sure that that business bounces back from this trauma. So many of us are leaving our community. We have to look out for those who choose to stay. Hey man, I love you. I don't mind telling you. Follow me on Instagram. Go to our school store, blacknationstore.com, and oh, my signal. Okay. Go to our school store, blacknationstore.com, and make sure you buy some Uhuru Academy merch. All right. Hey, we're beautiful people, man. I'll holler at y'all. Black Power.